Hello, hello. Welcome to Ghost Tracks Podcast. I'm your host, I'm Tina. And with me today, I have Julie and Dave from the Grim Grotto podcast. Welcome in. Thanks for being here, you guys.
Thank you. We're so excited.
Thanks for having us.
Of course. We're going to talk cryptids today. And I thought it would be fun to talk about cryptids from the regions, kind of where we come from. I'm going like my background, not where I live. So I'm going to talk about the Loch Ness Monster, since that's where my family is from. And then Julie and Dave, who are you going to be talking about today?
I'll be talking about Colossal Claude from the Pacific Northwest.
Oh, you chose Colossal Claude.
Yeah.
I really thought you were going
I
to
have never heard of that.
And then I'll be discussing the Wok Wok from the Philippines.
Very cool. Those are new to me, so I'm excited.
Yay!
Well, I guess I can get started with Nessie. Loch Ness Monster is from Scotland. It is actually one of the world's most famous cryptids, probably only second to Bigfoot. But the legends of Nessie actually stretch back centuries. Before like long in, I think the 16th century is actually when, or 6th century is when that first came about. But modern day mythology, the Loch Ness Monster kind of became really famous and known in the 1930s. It looks like in 1933, that's when it kind of became public. And that was due to a couple that claimed to see a giant creature in the loch. And that sighting sparked a wave of media attention. And then obviously just reporting similar encounters between people in the area. So yeah. And apparently it was captured on film in 1934.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
I didn't know it was captured on film. I just heard about like
the photo. Yeah. And so it says the surgeon's photo. So I think when they say film, it probably means on as a photograph initially. But that is one of the most iconic pieces of evidence for the Loch Ness Monster. And the person who took that's name was Robert Kenneth Wilson. And he was a physician in London, actually.
Oh, nice.
So I'm sure anybody that knows the Loch Ness Monster story knows exactly what we're talking about with this black and white photo. So,
It's iconic.
yes. I need one. I actually have in my house, I have a Scotland wall in my home, in my loft.
Yeah.
And the clan that I come from, the clan castle is actually, I have photos of that. So maybe I need to print out this black and white photo to put Nessie up there on the wall too.
Get it framed and everything.
Yes. Yep. So, but it looks like for decades, this photo was considered one of the best pieces of evidence that the Loch Ness Monster was real. But in the 1990s, it was actually revealed that it was a hoax. In 1994, a man named Christian Sperling admitted that he had helped create the photo using a model of a monster in a toy submarine. So that sucks.
Oh, that's wild that it's a hoax. I had no idea that it was a hoax.
Yeah. All great things, man. They like to ruin them.
I feel like it could be a conspiracy theory, right? So what happens if it was real? Then they got talked to about it. Like, hey, you can't be telling people that this is real because we're handling it. It's something that we can't control because we can't find it due to like maybe portals, right?
That's where I was going to
go. Here we just like the aliens.
Right.
We're not allowed. We don't know about them. We're not allowed.
Yeah.
Except that we are allowed now, I guess.
Exactly.
Government came out and said they were real.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, I think it was last year.
Last year? What? Okay, because like 2 years ago, well, not even 2 years ago, like around, I don't remember, but there was something going on, and supposedly they released a bunch of documents too saying they were real, but I don't know.
Yeah. They're just trying to keep us on our toes, guys, and, divert our attention.
Yeah. They're like, you may believe or may not.
Yes.
Isn't there a theory out there that there is an underwater portal to another dimension that Nessie travels through?
I've never heard of that, actually. maybe only certain groups of people get that information, and I'm not part of that group.
Well, it explains why nobody sees Nessie that often, because if Nessie's traveling through an underwater portal to another dimension, it could come in and out at any point, and time is a relative concept. So.
Oh yes. Well, okay. So here's another. Let me ask you this then: if there's a portal, have you guys heard of Champ from Lake Champlain up in the what is it, northeast on the East Coast?
I've heard of Champ.
Yeah. So what if Champ is just Nessie?
What if Champ, Nessie, and Colossal Claude are all the same? They're all just a plesiosaurus.
Wait, we did hear about that in the same, I think, in a documentary about Nessie, right? Because we thought
they could be Champ.
There could be a portal there too.
Yeah.
Well,
so I think, and I'll have to look into it, but Lake Champlain, I'm not sure if that falls into you know how there's the Bermuda Triangle, right? Well, there's one on the East Coast, and it's slipping my mind right now, but it's in that area, general area. Is it the bridge something triangle? People on the East Coast are yelling at me right now. But I mean, Bermuda Triangles, all those little triangles and everything, they're said to have hosts of portals in them. So maybe it's just one very lonely sea monster, and he's just vibing, traveling all over the place, and we just think it's all different guys.
Just trying to find a place to fit in.
He just wants to find friends. I'll be his friend. I'm not afraid.
I know, I'm not afraid.
Have you guys ever seen the water horse?
The water horse?
No.
Are you talking about the one that looks like a mermaid?
No, the water horse. It's a movie, and it's in Scotland, and it's kind of like the beginning of the Loch Ness Monster story, is what it's kind of goes into. But yeah, a little kid finds an egg in one of the beaches on one of the lochs or whatever over there in Scotland, and brings it home, and it actually hatches, and it ends up being what they term as a water horse. And it's basically like the Loch Ness Monster, and he grows really, really big, and they put him in the loch, and it's during war times, and they put him in there, and so yeah, very, very cute movie. I really liked it.
It sounds cute to have a little cryptid as a pet. Just like,
the only cryptid I have as a pet is the creepy alien guy, which actually isn't very creepy. He's looking at me right now. He's hanging out.
Oh, he's with you?
Yeah, he's across the room. He's looking at me on my shelf.
I love that.
Yep. He watches me sleep in the non-creepy alien way.
His eyes like glow.
Yeah. No, I wish. That actually would probably creep me out. I'd probably be afraid if it glowed in the dark.
Have you ever seen the pictures of like Maine Coons when they're sitting on the shelf? They look really scary at nighttime when their eyes like glow.
Oh,
just giant feline. I love Maine Coons. I used to have two. Yes, they're the best.
So cute. This is slightly off topic, but my cat, he has Maine Coon in him. He's a ragamuffin, and so he's so big.
I love him. He's very cute. I saw him when you guys got on. He's so cute.
Are you being
He loves coming around. He loves whenever we're recording. That's his favorite time to come
hang out,
be around us. Yeah.
Have you guys ever listened to the Two Girls, One Ghost podcast?
No, but I have heard of it.
Best name ever. They're amazing. It's Sabrina and Corinne, and Sabrina has a Siamese cat named Leia, and she gets on the podcast all the time. She'll be recording, and she's just meowing in the background and like rubbing on the microphone. So yeah, she's in there a lot. I love Leia.
That's so cute. We'll have to try to listen to it soon.
Yeah, they're a very good podcast. I really enjoy them. And they've been. Have you heard of Morbid?
That one I have heard of. Yeah, I've heard of that one, but I don't recall what it looks like.
So Morbid's more true crime. It's not paranormal, it's more true crime. But I think they got started in 18 or 19, and Two Girls, One Ghost got started like a year or so earlier. So they've been around for a long time.
Oh, wow. Good for them. It's difficult, like recording all the time and finding topics.
Yeah. I'm like, somebody please tell me what to research. Stop leaving it up to me. I know it's my podcast, but tell me what to do. Send help.
You're like
So
Google.
Hey, at least you guys have like two brains going into this.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just me.
You think a lot of the ideas, though.
Yeah. Dave just kind of shows up for the vibes.
Yeah, right. He's just here for the party.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Sometimes I don't even know what we're talking about. We just sit down and start recording.
Start talking. Hey,
Yeah.
you know, that's a pretty solid gig, honestly. I try to research 2 episodes a month, or actual research episodes, and then the other 2 are listener stories, or just kind of a free-for-all of whatever I feel like doing that day.
Oh, that's so nice. I love listener stories. They're always like,
I know,
something that I would never think of.
send them to me, because I don't have a whole lot yet. But I mean, I'm only like 3 months into this, not even, so I'll get there.
You will, you will. We still don't get listener stories. We're just turned a year old, so.
Well, that's exciting. I love that. One day I'll be a year old.
Yeah, you'll get there. I believe in you.
Good. So we believe in us, and we believe in Nessie.
Right.
And the other cryptids too.
In us.
So it looks like, I'm looking at my little thing here. It looks like there actually is a film footage. So there's actual footage of Nessie as well.
I was going to say, I thought I remembered seeing that at one point, like documentaries and stuff.
I thought the documentary was like cans.
Oh no! Cans being drugged through the loch.
Yeah.
Oh, Scotland.
Speaking of believing in Nessie, though, we were watching a documentary, and they had a guy on there who has basically devoted his life to standing watch, looking for Nessie. He has a whole camper van there on the side of the loch.
Pretty badass.
It is.
Just sits there and watches all day long. Like, that sounds like an awesome life.
Yeah, I could get with that for sure. Yeah, I would not hate that at all. I'm thinking about what it is. So I've actually been to Loch Ness.
Oh, nice.
So I was born in England, but my grandmother was born and raised in Scotland. So she didn't come to the States until after she married my grandfather. In the 50s, she may have come over in the 60s. But they got married in 55. And then I lived overseas in England, and then we visited Scotland quite a bit, because that's where my Nana, my great-grandmother, lived. And so, I think, when did we came to the States when I was like 4 or 5, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So, I have some time over there, and I do remember bits and pieces of Scotland and England, so it's definitely a bucket list to go back.
Yeah, England's
to where I'm from.
Yeah.
And I'll go yell at the loch and try and make friends with Nessie.
I want to be your friend.
Yep. What does a Loch Ness Monster like to eat? I will bring it forward for you. I come bearing gifts.
Show me the way to the portal.
Yes. I have questions. I need to know. Are you the same as these other cryptids in the U.S.?
Right.
I mean, honestly, if we talked to it, if it had an accent or not, we'd be able to tell.
I know, that's what I was
wondering. So yeah, the film was recorded in 1960, I guess, by Tim Dinsdale. What a name.
Okay.
But yeah, it looks like it was recorded showing something large moving in the water. And I think it's one of the most, other than the photo, most talked about pieces of evidence in Nessie lore. But obviously it's heavily debated as well on whether or not it's true. All these haters, they're just jealous.
They're fun wreckers.
Fun.
Yeah, they are. We call them fun suckers. Fun sucker.
Enjoy the fun.
Yep. But I absolutely believe in the Loch Ness Monster. I used to have a stuffed animal of Nessie when I was a kid. I know. I wish I had it back.
What happened to it?
Oh gosh, I've moved so much in my life, I couldn't even tell you. Awesome kitty ASMR for the listeners. I can hear Lupin purring.
Oh, you can?
Yes, I can. Right in my headphones. I said, oh, listen. He's so handsome, guys.
Thank you.
We'll
You
have
got
to
called
put
handsome instead of a chonk, Lupin.
He's so handsome. My chunky
But-
one is walking around right now. He's
Aw.
Craven. He's my all black
Aw.
one.
Nice.
He's
Well, speaking of
snooping.
Loch Ness, Colossal Claude.
I feel like I was destined to talk about Colossal Claude if we were talking about Nessie on the same episode, but Colossal Claude is a Pacific Northwest legend that I only learned about in recent years. I had never heard of Colossal Claude, and I grew up here. So I was tempted to talk about Jake the Alligator Man, which you thought I would talk about, because that is my known favorite. But I was like, something's just speaking to me about Colossal Claude. And it's interesting because Colossal Claude was first sighted also in the 1930s here. So it leads me to wonder if there was some portal activity going on.
I'm
same
getting
time,
behind
right?
this idea, guys.
Yeah. But there have been a few reported sightings from fishermen. So Colossal Claude has been reportedly seen in the mouth of the Columbia River, which separates Oregon and Washington. So just around the city of Astoria, Oregon.
Mhm.
And supposedly it's about a 40-foot long sea monster with a body like a snake and a head like a camel, which I think is interesting.
Yes.
But
that is an interesting mix-up.
Right?
it has been reportedly sighted a few times, but the last officially reported sighting, I think, was in 1964, somewhere right around that time. So it's been a while. But something about me believes Colossal Claude is still out there. And actually, I know somebody that believes that they saw Colossal Claude, and I want to learn more.
Yeah, right.
I want to get this person
Their
to come
story.
talk to us, to get their story out there. Because I'll just paraphrase, she was driving, there's a really long bridge that separates Oregon and Washington.
Mhm.
And I believe she said that she was driving over that bridge and in the distance saw a long, scaly creature, like something very large, like obviously not a small fish or something that would pop its head up, and believes sincerely that this was Colossal Claude. So I'm into this story.
I love it. I lived in Washington State for 9 years.
Really? Whereabouts?
Whidbey Island.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very pretty, but not my jam. I'm like, it's too cold up here. It does nothing but rain.
Yeah.
But no, it's very, very pretty. Washington, like the West Coast is very beautiful in its own right. I actually moved here to Indiana from Alaska.
Oh, wow.
You have moved around.
Huh?
I said you have moved around.
Yeah, like
Yes,
west,
I have. All
north.
the time. And I grew up on the East Coast, so I actually lived in Delaware as a kid, and then Connecticut.
Oh,
So
Wow.
yeah, I've been all over the place, but I've never heard of Colossal Claude.
I haven't either.
So
And you think more people would be talking about Colossal Claude. Like there would be, when you go to the coast here, there would be Colossal Claude merchandise in all the stores, but it's just not really talked about.
well,
So-
guys, I think you guys have an in now.
I know.
Start making the story grow. Sell
There's
your
actually
merch.
there's a perfect viewing spot for looking for. There's it's called the Astoria Column, and it's this huge tower that you can climb up with 200 stairs or something on top of the hill, and it has a good panoramic view of the mouth of the Columbia River. So if you want to go look for Colossal Claude, I would say it's a pretty good spot because you should be able to spot a 40-foot sea creature from up there, I would say.
You should be able to, yeah. That's what. And now, I thought Astoria. So is Astoria more on the coast? It's on the coast, right?
Yeah.
So like the northwest side of Oregon.
Yeah, right on the tip.
Okay. So my brother actually lived in Astoria for a while, but I'd never been there. My older sister lived just outside of Portland. So,
Okay.
but in Portland's kind of the only real area I've been in. I've been on the coast once, but I couldn't tell you for the life of me where where it
Somewhere out
was
there.
at. Yeah, we came out in 2018 with my husband and two of my kids. My other two are adopted, so it was prior to them coming to the house. But yeah, So it's been a minute since I've been to Oregon, but might have to make a trip back.
Yeah, just to look for Colossal Claude.
Some cryptid hunting.
Oh my gosh. I could, yes, absolutely. I have my best friend is moving here from Alaska in September. So we are driving from Alaska through British Columbia into Alberta and then dipping down into the US around Montana and then driving the rest of the way through the states to Indiana. So while I am venturing my way from there to here and taking all of my wildlife photos, I'll be looking for cryptids too, I guess.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'll need to look at what's in the area and keep my eyes peeled.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Yeah. So, Julie, what are you talking about? What do we got for you?
Yeah, so my favorite cryptid would have to be the Wok Wok, and it is from the Philippines. So, specifically on the island my family's from, it's known as the Wok Wok, but if you were to Google it or anything, you would have the best chance of finding it under Oswong. Oswong is this umbrella term for most cryptids in the Philippines because it's like a shapeshifter, so it can shapeshift into all these other cryptids, and that's why people will just say like Oswong. But this specifically is the Wok Wok, and the Wok Wok is best described as a harpy. So I don't know if you ever played Yu-Gi-Oh! The Harpy Sisters, that's exactly what it is like, where it has the wings, the claws like a hawk, and feet like claws, but she doesn't harm females. She more so looks for men, and if she can lure men in, that's when she'll like take them and then never return them. So it's kind of like a cryptid.
Me too.
I'm sorry?
I said me too. So it is the opposite of the Manananggal.
Yep, opposite of the Manananggal. Yep.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
So just everybody in the Philippines is getting jacked up by these cryptids, it seems. One of them's going after the male population, the other one's taking the females and the kids out.
If you find yourself safe from cryptids, there's an entire jungle of things trying to get you. So. Yeah. There's night wasps, what is it? Oh, yeah, there's anacondas, and oh my goodness.
Oh, it's cool though. Yeah. No. There was a saltwater crocodile I wanted to swim with, and nobody would let me.
I would probably be on the not letting you list as well.
It's fine. Their upper jaw force is way weaker than their down.
I wouldn't want to test that out.
Yeah.
No, I get it. But yeah. So the Wok Wok, she's vampiric. She searches for men that usually do have a significant other to kind of like teach them a lesson. So it's kind of this tale that females will tell like their boyfriends, or they're just a man in their life that's with somebody. They'll be like, "Oh, careful! The Wok Wok's gonna know. The Wok Wok's gonna get you." And just kind of a way to scare kids to teach them a lesson through fear. Yeah.
So my youngest son is part Filipino. So my ex-husband is half Filipino. So, he's like a quarter.
I love that.
So this is a legend I'm going to tell him, I guess. This is from your people being fed down to you. Don't be jacking around, or this gal's gonna come get you.
Exactly. And so yeah, stay away from caves. Stay inside.
It's mountain caves, right? Or they're in it?
Yeah, it's mountainous caves, not ocean caves.
Well, the ocean caves have a whole other plethora of things, like, I don't know, Nessie.
Yeah.
So, nowhere is safe, guys.
Yeah, so just stay home. But even home's not safe.
So, not in my weather here, no.
Yeah.
It does seem like it's calmed down a little bit outside. I'm not hearing as much blowing around out there.
Maybe we scared it away with all the cryptid talk.
Maybe. Indiana, behave.
So yeah, that's just my favorite cryptid, because it never scared me, but I like to scare like my cousins and whatnot with it.
Nothing scares
because you're a woman, man.
Yeah, exactly.
She's not coming for you.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think Two Girls, One Ghost is actually where I heard of the Manananggal
Oh, nice.
originally, if I remember correctly. And I was like, what in the world? What's happening in the Philippines? What is this? So, and it's a pity, obviously, I don't have any contact with my ex-husband's family anymore, but his mother came here from the Philippines. So I would have loved to ask Lula about it.
Oh, you knew that she was called Lula? Okay.
Yes.
Look at you.
Yep. So it's a shame.
Well,
I bet
I
she
can
has some
teach.
stories.
Yeah, I could teach it. Come
Yeah.
to me.
No, I love. I was telling my friend Lorena, she was on my podcast before, and I have some upcoming episodes with her. Just joining in, being awesome, and supporting me in my endeavors. But she is Latina, so just hearing from her culture and their stories and everything, it's fascinating. I love this stuff. So yeah.
I also love how like cryptids outside of the US tend to be extremely vicious.
Yeah.
It's true.
Like they're
What
a
is
lot.
is it the Sacramento Night Walker? Is that
Oh, those are
have you
so
guys
cute.
yeah, just the white blobs walking around like, hey guys.
Yeah.
No arms, just legs.
Yeah, so adorable.
Yeah, we've got cute little marshmallow guys, and then they've got things flying out of the air, snatching you out of your bed at night.
Right. You guys have like cute little tooth fairies, and then we have like an array of things that will capture and never give you back.
Yeah. Well, and then have you heard changelings? That's a huge thing over in Scotland as well. Changelings. So this was again way back in the day. This was when this all came about. But if a child, like an infant, was ill or something, they would put these children out in trees, which they considered to be like fairy portals, and then they would take. It was said that the sick child was actually like a changeling. It was not their actual child. So they would put the babies out there and wait for the fairies to bring their actual child back and then take the changeling away.
Oh.
Like, so we just have all these people just abandoning their children.
Yeah.
Like, this should not be okay. But yeah, that was one of the legends, also from Scotland. It's just crazy. I love legends.
I love that like a lot of European stories too have a bunch of fairies. I have noticed that.
Yes. The
really...
fae they're huge over in England and Scotland. I honestly, what other cultures have fairies over there? I think it's just England and Scotland.
Yeah, I think so.
We are a weird people. Yeah, I've never. I mean, obviously, U.S. We have fairies here too, but came from somewhere, right?
Yeah. I love the idea of like a tooth fairy, this supposedly adorable little fairy that's similar to Tinkerbell in a way. It comes and takes your children's teeth and then returns them to her said lair and just lives with them. Like that.
Yes.
Gives
Let
you
me
money.
take your bone that fell out.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna live with your bone. Thanks.
Like, this is my couch. Nothing big.
Yes. Oh gosh. My daughter would be in heaven. One of her best friends had her wisdom teeth out, and my kid was like, "Can I have them?" I was like, "What?
No way.
What have I raised?" Like, it's one thing to save your own teeth, but it's a whole other thing to be like trying to harvest somebody.
Hey, she might be a tooth fairy in training. You never know.
Right? So, of the tooth fairies in like movies and stuff that have been depicted, what is your favorite tooth fairy depiction from like cartoons and stuff?
I can't remember the cartoon that I saw, but it was depicted as a gnome instead of a fairy, and then it came in and each house had their own. So it wasn't like one person that was the tooth fairy. It was just whatever house you came to live in had like the tooth fairy. And it was this gnome that came, grabbed the tooth from the pillow, and then would hide all of your teeth in the walls.
What?
Because that's Dave said, what? What are you watching? I have never heard of that one.
That was a cartoon?
Yeah, it was a cartoon.
You watched when you were a kid?
I don't know, maybe it was in my mind, but yeah.
Out here creating stories.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh yeah, that was a memory. And...
I had the gnome. It was me. No, I've never heard of that.
Yeah. Sounds spooky.
Pretty sure. Now I'm questioning my memory.
We'll Google it. We'll Insta-Google. Investi-Google. Look
at that. Gnome cartoon that takes your teeth. Cartoon with gnome. Is it Gnome? What? No, it's Genome.
Genome.
And takes your teeth. No, there was a gnome one that popped up right away. Supposedly his name's David the Gnome. It's funny. Are you a gnome, Dave?
Dave's out here. He's the one making the teeth.
He's like,
he's so quiet right now.
Right? He's
telling
like
his secrets.
I can't find it.
My favorite tooth fairy was from the Guardians. Have you guys ever seen that?
No, I haven't seen that one.
With Jack Frost. Rise of the Guardians.
Yes,
Rise of the Guardians.
I've seen that. Okay.
The tooth fairy in that one. That is probably my favorite fiction. I think she's just so unique. Not just like a human fairy. I love that they kind of made her look like a hummingbird.
Mm-hmm. Do you watch fairies?
This is news to me that there's more than one depiction of the tooth fairy.
Really?
Yeah, it's a whole new world that's open to me.
Have you never seen The Rise of the Guardians?
He's not seen a lot.
I've lived under a rock most of my life.
So, The Rise of the Guardians, it's, what was it, DreamWorks? I think it's a DreamWorks movie. And Santa is tattooed. He's this huge tattooed Santa. And then there's the Easter Bunny, big giant, like 6 foot something Easter Bunny, and Hugh Jackman is actually the voice of the Easter Bunny. And then there's Sandman, who I love.
Yeah, me too.
And he doesn't speak. Jack Frost, and then the Tooth Fairy. And isn't there one more? Like, of the good guys? Or am I just imagining?
I can't remember.
And then their nemesis is, oh gosh, Pitch Black. The Boogeyman. It's a very good movie. I actually just watched it not that long ago. I'm a huge dork.
Aww,
Instead of watching grown-up things, I'm over here watching my DreamWorks cartoons.
Yeah, that's the best.
No
grown-up
shame.
things are boring.
Yep. Well, it's better than the Vampire Diaries that I've been watching nonstop.
I'm
just
just
crying. Really?
Mm-hmm.
My friend Lorena was over the other day, and she's like, "I've never watched it." I was like, "It's very teen drama-y in the first season, but then the rest of the seasons, I basically just cry the whole time. I'm just sitting here crying. It's ridiculous." No, I love the Vampire Diaries. It is a good series, but a little cheesy here and there. It's not Twilight though. So there's that. And I love Twilight.
I've only seen the first one.
Yeah, I'd like to say they got better.
Okay.
I mean, they did and they didn't. I mean, for what it was, and at the time, because that stuff came out in what? 2008?
Yes.
I think it came out before that.
Yeah, I think the books came out before that.
Yeah. Well, because, man, I remember waiting in line to buy actual tickets to the movie theater. Like, I was gonna go see Edward, okay? It was happening. And I lived in Oak Harbor at the time, so, it was all the thing.
Yeah.
My mom's best friend actually has been to Forks, and I'm like, what? I've not even been there yet.
Aww.
So
We've been to the bar scene in St. Helens.
St. Helens, yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, we all love
I got
it.
really excited.
Oh, you were
Yeah.
so excited. Yeah. So those are our 2 cryptids.
Well, I think that's gonna be it for this episode. Again, you guys, where can everybody find you?
Yeah.
You guys have Instagram, and what other socials and places?
Yeah, so we're on Spotify and Apple Podcast under Grim Grotto, and then Instagram, it's also Grim Grotto _. We can also be found on Koi-Fi. I sell stickers, little cute stickers. I mean, I try to make scary cryptids, but I don't know if it's just my art style or what.
They're all cute.
They
They
just keep coming out adorable. I saw the ones that you sent to Spooky and Kooky.
Yeah.
Yes, I did see. I saw them. It was adorable. I loved it.
Well, that was supposed to be Mothman. He doesn't look threatening at all.
I love Mothman. I actually have, I don't know, I think I posted it up on my Instagram a while back, but I have a Mothman onesie, pajamas,
That's cute.
and it has the hood and his little antenna and the big red eyes, and then when you put your arms up, it has the wings. And I love it. Yeah. I mean, I can totally put it on for the next episode and walk around for you.
Yes.
But
That's
no, I
resounding.
love Mothman.
We do too. Well, I do at least.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah,
All
so
right.
that is where we can be found.
Well, perfect. And then everybody that's been here before for me, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok with Ghost Tracks Podcast. You can send me an email at ghosttrackspodcast@gmail.com. And yeah, and I think that's it for us right now. So I just say stay creepy at the end because that's the way that I live my life. All right. Well, thank you so much for being here on this episode with me today. I appreciate it. I had a lot of
Thank you
fun.
for having us. We had so much fun too.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.